Hallo Freunde, ich freue mich, euch dazu. Hallo Freunde, ich freue mich, euch zum zweiten Teil von der Demo von Foolish Models begrüßen zu dürfen. Wir sind in ein neues Gebiet reingegangen und da haben wir einen Totengräber, mit dem wir mal reden können.
A scruffy-looking man was working away within the remnants of the shack.
Und ich würde sagen, das machen wir auch gleich mal.
Hello.
Ah, consarn it! Don't sneak up on people like that. You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy?
I thought you were those pesky kids again.
Kids don't seem like a reason to be scared.
They're little terrors. I'm sure they're gonna give me a heart attack. Last week they showed up with a doctor's note they forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him up, at my age!
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo, just like those kids will be if I get my hands on them.
Was für ein makaberer Streich, aber ja. Stellen wir uns erstmal vor, hätte ich gesagt.
My name's Murphy McAllen. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle, gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
Was mir jetzt gerade so einfällt, was für Voodoo-Zutaten haben wir gebraucht? Nägel oder hatten wir die Nägel schon dabei? Weil von dem könnten wir bestimmt Nägel kriegen. Der hat ja die Dinger ja gerade zugenagelt. Das war ja auch ziemlich offensichtlich, was da passiert ist gerade. Also Hinweis auf die Nägel, aber ich bin gar nicht sicher, ob wir die schon haben oder nicht. Wir machen erstmal die Gespräche weiter. Guck mal, da können wir sogar fragen, hast du noch ein paar Sargnägel übrig?
I'm looking for the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Another treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are meant to be here.
Hohohoho. Also so wie der gerade Angst hatte?
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who is still alive?
Not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help? Desperate shaking of the coffin?
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting away with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Has the cemetery been here long?
This cemetery is the whole reason Devil's Rock is populated.
Okay.
Back when the mainland was first settled, they used to ship off the bodies of undesirables to be buried here. Criminals and paupers. St. Juniper's church up on the hill was one of the first structures here, along with the fort. So that's what this place became. A cemetery island. A place where only Beelzebub himself would take the bodies that were interred into its caves and tunnels. The Devil's Rock.
Creepy.
Ja, das ist wirklich creepy. Wenn man so denkt, eine Stadt oder wie auch immer um einen Friedhof herum gebaut. Dass erst der Friedhof da war und ja.
So there are caves and tunnels on the island?
Oh yes, all over it. Some natural, some man-made. No one knows where they really are, though. I'm quite surprised I've yet to dig myself down into one. They say there's one that runs from the church to the crypt just down the path. An old escape route. But I've never been in there.
Das könnte vielleicht noch wichtig sein, dieser Hinweis.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
I think it's important to leave the dead to rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right?
Wissen wir.
If you ask me, I think Abigail Bellemore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Those are some pretty serious allegations.
Just a feeling, that's all. I don't have any evidence. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things. People killed in mysterious circumstances. Like you can tell when someone's sneaking up behind you.
You actually seem to have trouble with that.
Wise guy.
Ja, da hat er auch wirklich tatsächlich ein bisschen Angst. Ja, aber die Geschichte, das frage ich mich auch noch, was passiert. Hat sie den Seemann wirklich gelebt und hat dann irgendwie später, wurde beeinflusst, dass er den anderen heiratet? Oder was gerade umgekehrt? Hat sie was mit dem Verschwinden der Brüder zu tun? Also,
Do you not find working in a graveyard a little eerie?
Why would it be eerie?
I don't know. Ghosts, maybe?
I don't like to think about ghosts.
Why not?
Because they'd be bad for business. I have my work cut out here with the dead as it is. Imagine if they came back asking for a refund.
das wäre ziemlich blöd.
What are you working on?
This is just a pauper's coffin the parish is funding. Lock 'em in lumber, leave 'em to slumber. That's what I call it. No frills. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Okay.
Why are you out here working so late?
The funerals take place in the morning, and I prefer to be tucked up in my bed. I don't like those early funerals. I'm not a morning person.
Fragen wir erstmal nach dem Verschwinden. Das da finde ich, ja, das machen wir gleich.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, mustn't he? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think the sailor did to get his revenge?
Nobody knows. But in his contracts to the Caribbean, he could have come across something fiendish. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. And to tell you the truth, I'm quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they'd not disappeared, it would be this old fool who'd have had to bury them. Saved me a good amount of work.
Moment. So, da bin ich wieder. Hab ich jetzt schon gefragt wegen den Sargnägel? Ich weiß es gar nicht mehr, was das letzte jetzt gewesen ist. Mist. Ich frag nochmal.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't got any to spare. I have to buy these out of my own pocket. Do you know how much the parish gives me per burial nowadays? A pittance. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. I'm telling you, undertaking's a dying business.
Ich glaube, um an den Nägel zu kommen, müssen wir ihn erschrecken. Und da hätte ich auch schon eine Idee. Und zwar mit dem Wagenheber, damit das Ding ein bisschen wackelt, dass wir da was machen könnten.
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Creepy.
Story of my life.
Ja, das ist wohl wahr. Nee, da müssen wir den ein bisschen erschrecken, dass er da was macht. Da bin ich mir ziemlich sicher.
Did the coffin just move?
Don't even joke about that.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead.
So.
I don't want anything else adding to my to-do list.
Ja, okay. Doch, Nägel müssen wir holen. Ich meine, es war mir sicher, dass wir Nägel brauchen, aber ich war nicht sicher, ob das schon dazu gehört. Ja, alles klar. Nägel. Und der Wagenheber, es geht.
Where one of the table legs was broken, A jack was being used to prop it up, stopping the table from wobbling.
Oh, er nimmt ihn gleich mit. Dafür dürfte der Tisch nicht mehr, stabil stehen.
The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. The rough-looking coffin lay unceremoniously on the rickety table. With the jack removed, the table rocked freely.
Genau. Müssen wir aber noch schauen, wie wir das hinkriegen, dass wir da was machen können. Was ist mit der
A rusty
Blechdose?
tin can sat on the ground. The tin was empty.
Haben wir sonst noch was da? Wir haben noch den Ofen.
I didn't need to do anything with the stove, and would have probably burnt my hands if I tried. I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
Ich frage mich nur, kann man das während dem Gespräch machen?
Hello, Edgar.
Nee, kann man nicht.
Goodbye.
Okay, alles klar.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note.
Haben wir sonst noch irgendetwas Schönes da? Da sind
I
noch
scanned the
weitere
headstones
Gräber.
for anything of...
Ja, es geht hier noch weiter. Sehr schön. Weitere Gräber, aber da wissen wir nicht, was wir suchen. Und eine große Gruft. Das dürfte wichtig sein. Eine
Embedded
Krypta.
into the hillside was a large, elaborately carved crypt. It looked to be hundreds of years old. I couldn't see any way to open it.
Mit dem Wagenheber bestimmt nicht, oder?
That didn't work.
Ja. Und da geht's nur wieder auf die Karte raus. Tatsache. Okay, dann... Ach, da unten können wir auch noch hingehen. Dann gehen wir mal da unten hin. Sieht auch aus, als ob da der Ort wäre, oder?
Walking into the port town of Dead Nettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Gold and treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Ja, okay. Alles klar. Sehr schön. Dann können wir uns hier auch mal umschauen. Habe ich doch gesagt, hier gibt's das. Hier gibt's 100%ig den Ort.
The fishing net was so worn it looked like it might fall apart at any moment. It wasn't going to be of any use to me.
Was ist... Oh, zu den Docks können wir so hingehen. Und den Angler können wir dann wahrscheinlich nochmal anreden. Ja, genau. Reden wir mal mit dem Angler.
Are the fish biting?
Well, not so well today, to tell the truth. They must have been spooked by something. But you should have seen them yesterday. I was having to fight them off the rod. The name's Ned Kipps, by the way. Just Kipps to my friends.
Hallo, Kips.
I'm Murphy McCallan.
Nice to meet you, Mac. What are you doing on this old rock anyway? I haven't seen you around before. Here on vacation?
I guess you could say that.
Then you got worse judgment than an arm wrestler squaring up to a kraken. Hope you don't regret it.
Me too.
Ja, wir sind auf der Suche nach dem verlorenen Schatz.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Well, I've heard a tall tale or two, but even I'm not spending my time looking for that. It's been lost for 30 years now.
Lost means it's still ready for finding.
I've traveled every waterway on this island, and I haven't even seen a hint of it. It could be at the bottom of the ocean for all I know. And I've found a few treasures in my time. French treasure, British treasure, pirate treasure, but no Bellemore treasure.
Do you still have those treasures?
Well, I had to hide them again. Give someone else a chance to find them. I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Auch nicht schlecht. Schätze gefunden und dann wieder versteckt, damit andere sie finden können. Das finde ich ja mal sehr, sehr nett eigentlich.
What's that book you're reading?
The Louisiana Book of Records. There's this fish called a pinkoza that swims around these parts. Delicious barbecue. And you're looking at the fella that's caught the heaviest pinkoza ever weighed at the Dead Nettle docks. Now I'm looking to see if it's a state record, maybe even national, or a world record.
That's some achievement.
Oh, it was. Got my photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything.
How do you catch a pinkoza fish?
Oh, it's not for the faint of heart, Murphy. Decades of practice, hours of patience. I tell you this, I doubt you'll ever beat my record.
Don't worry, I'm no fisherman.
You know, I could write my own book. Put my techniques in that. Or an autobiography. Sea serpents, kraken, sunken treasure. I just need a snappy title. Something exciting. Something dangerous. Something that'll get the book picked up off a shelf. I know. Fish and Chips. That'll work.
Ich bin mir nicht so sicher. Und irgendwie habe ich das Gefühl, wir müssen den Fisch, den wir da geholt haben, so präparieren, dass er aussieht, wie wenn wir ihn geangelt hätten und seinen Rekord brechen oder sowas.
What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the captain's club. They fancy them up with lemon lobster, slawfish something or other. Fools. Everyone knows the best way to cook them is to barbecue them. But then again, I haven't eaten in that place my whole life.
Why not?
I don't have a captain's license, so they won't let me in.
Don't you have a fishing boat?
I used to. The Petit Pichet. But they don't count it if it doesn't have a crew.
What happened to it?
That's it across the harbor with its bow sticking out the water. It was the strangest thing. There I was, fishing just out in the bay, when a sea serpent comes out the water, wraps itself around the boat. Well, I was going to be a goner. Jabbed my fishing pole right in its beady eye, throttled the motor, and managed to make it back to shore just as the hull went under. It's lucky I made it out alive.
That's a pretty tall tale.
I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
It was clear that Ned had a penchant for fanciful stories. He told them with such vigor, I think he'd convinced himself they were true.
Den müssen wir diesen Pass, den wir da gefunden haben, geben. Und da hat er auch was von einem Foto gesprochen. Mhm.
What do you know about the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
Now there's a tale to tell. You know about Miss Bellemore? The bride engaged to the sailor?
Ja.
I heard she was having an affair. Getting up to no good with this fellow called John Rackham. He was one of the Bellemore Company's higher-ups. Anyway, sailor catches wind of it and tricks Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what caused everything to go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
Call me a liar, but there are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Is that what you think caused the disappearance?
What else could it be?
What can you tell me about Miss Bellemore?
Abigail. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy. Seems like such a nice girl, too. Until the affair. It seems so unlike her.
What about the sailor?
Don't know much about him. Never met the fella. I never got involved in the dock work, to tell the truth. Always preferred to sit with my fishing pole and fend for myself. We all figured that Abigail being in love with him and everything. He must have been fine folk. I think we were wrong. Poor Rackham, though. He was wronger still. I'm a business guy myself. Get the product, sell the product. Nothing wrong with bringing home the bacon. But he brought back trouble, and he paid the price.
I suppose it was a mistake for him to get involved with Abigail.
It's risky mixing business and pleasure.
Irgendwas wollte ich gerade sagen, hab's aber schon wieder vergessen.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Ich und mein Gedächtnis. So, wir haben eine
That's for
Waage.
weighing fish. No one's going to beat my record.
Können wir den präparierten Fisch draufhängen?
I hung the fish on the scales.
Nice try, Mac. But it's going to need to be heavier than that to beat my record.
Okay, aber das heißt wohl, wir können da schon irgendwie was machen. Wir müssen den Fisch nur präparieren. Und nicht den Wagenheber. Den Captainsführerschein.
I thought I'd keep that to myself.
Ja, wenn wir ein Bild von dem Ding hätten, von Kips, könnte man den vielleicht reinsetzen. Was haben wir denn sonst noch eigentlich alles hier? Das ist die Waage, die Docks. Da haben wir ein schwarzes Brett. Schwarze Bretter sind toll. Das schauen wir uns gleich mal an. Und da geht's auch rein.
The latest newspaper contained a photograph of the fisherman on the docks, with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. Nothing else was of interest.
Kannst du das mitnehmen?
The latest newspaper contained nothing else was.
Haben wir, ja, eine Schere oder so haben wir leider auch nicht da und das können wir wahrscheinlich nicht mit
I couldn't
benutzen.
do that.
Ja, da bräuchten wir wahrscheinlich eine Schere oder sowas. Da geht's rein, da geht's rein, da geht's rein. Ja, dann gehen wir erstmal rein hier, wenn wir schon davor stehen.
You! Stop right there! What's your name?
Murphy McAllen.
I haven't seen you before. What's your business?
I'm just visiting. Why do you need to know?
Because your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn
okay.
Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, Murphy. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth. No.
I need a good story. I can't always let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that.
Okay. Aber wenn ich hier auf die Kamera sehe, vielleicht müssen wir von denen auch ein Foto machen und das Foto entwickeln, um in den Pass reinzusetzen. Was haben wir denn hier eigentlich alles Schönes? Wir haben eine
It was a pair
Schere.
of scissors left on the table from packaging the newspapers.
Können wir die einfach mitnehmen? Und keiner sagt was? Perfekt. Was haben wir sonst noch hier? Moment, eine Schnur.
A ball of twine had been left on the table, presumably used for bundling up newspapers.
Kommt auch mit. Ah, keiner sagt was dazu.
On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. Around it, the floor was stained with ink splatters. I wasn't going to get ink all over my hands.
Bin mir nicht sicher, aber wenn wir den Fisch präparieren, der hat doch irgendwas von schwarzen Fisch gesagt.
That wasn't going to work.
Nee, okay. War auch eine dumme Idee, aber ich dachte, ich probiere es trotzdem mal. Ja, wir haben schon wieder 21 Minuten. Das heißt, machen wir in der nächsten Folge weiter. Vielleicht wird es doch ein paar Folgen mehr werden als nur 3. Im Moment sieht es jedenfalls danach aus, mit den ganzen Gesprächen, die wir hier noch führen können, je nachdem, könnte ich mir vorstellen, dass das doch ein bisschen... dass das ein bisschen noch länger wird. Aber wir werden sehen. Vielleicht ist es auch noch ganz schnell, vielleicht auch nicht. Wir werden die Demo auf jeden Fall zu Ende spielen. Bis dahin, macht's mal gut und tschüss.